A new update for Monster Hunter Wilds is here, or very close anyways. And Capcom blessed us with the patch notes prior to us playing with it. So I'm going to go through all the key details of the patch notes. Take a listen. I'll give you all the highlights and then my thoughts on the entire patch notes experience at the very end. Enjoy. Expanded endgame content. Originally planned for implementation in the third title update scheduled for the end of September. We've moved this up to now. We'll be adding a new set of high difficulty quests. And as rewards for completing them, you can obtain talismans with randomly assigned bonuses, including weapon skills. That's a big word right there. Talismans for the new update are not going to be stuck at just armor skills. We'll be able to add weapon skills to talismans, which is kind of a big deal. That's huge. I think that's a big change. We'll see what that looks like. As a new set of high difficulty quests, 9-star monsters will start appearing when you are HR 100 or higher. 9-star monsters. And we got to look at the first frame of this picture. There's Big Daddy Gore. We got Gore, Arkfeld, Ray Dow, Mitsusune, Legaia, Chris, Seregios, New Udra, Uthduna, and Jin Dahad, which is the lineup I expected. I think it would have been cool if we had a wider lineup for this, for 9-star monsters, but of all the monsters you would have thought would have gone up in difficulty, these are exactly the ones I would have picked, you know? For veteran players who have experienced endgame content in previous Monster Hunter titles, we understand that the difficulty of tempered monsters at launch may have felt lacking. Therefore, starting with Title Update 2, we've introduced a system for more detailed monster parameter customization, as well as other adjustments to ensure a challenging and rewarding experience. I think that's great. We're adding the Glowing Stone appraisal item as a quest reward for quests with 9-star monsters. Upon quest completion, the Glowing Stone appraisal item, a quest reward for quests with 9-star monsters, will transform into an appraised talisman with randomly assigned skills. Unlike other talismans, which can be crafted and upgraded at the smithy, appraised talismans cannot be upgraded. However, they can be randomly granted not only armor skills, but weapon skills and decoration slots. Both weapon skills and armor skills decoration slots, allowing for more customization and experimentation with builds. We hope this leads to more engaging gameplay and encourages hunters to try different weapons and armor based on the talismans they obtain. There's two things here, and I'd love to hear your thoughts here, chat, on the two things. The one is this one. We're back to Rise Talisman grind, except a little bit faster. It's like, so in Rise, we would put parts or gear or whatever into a pot, and then we'd have to go on a quest or more. Sometimes it was 4 or 5 quests, and then you'd get this talisman spit out. In this version, you do the quest, you get an appraisal item, and the talisman's spit out. So the grind is we don't do 5 quests anymore. How you feeling about it, chat? How you feeling? Man, dude, I might not just not get enough sleep last night. Like, I'm bummed. I'm bummed that we're doing RNG talismans, you know? Like, it's fine. I'm glad it's here. I'm glad we get to do something with the 9-star quest besides get more parts from those monsters. Like, it's nice that now we have something to get from the 9-star quests versus 8-star quest was just higher difficulty. But pulling a slot machine, I'm not pumped about the idea of a slot machine, you know? I haven't played it yet, so I'm happy to be wrong. I hope that it's way more engaging than that. But my initial reaction is like, oh man, like we're just gonna press the, appraise button and hope it's good. And if it's not, we're doing another run. My fear is that the system is, I fought 9-star Gore, had a great time. It was super fun. I get the Glowing Stone drop. It just appears as a talisman, and it has random skills and slots on it, and that's it. And that's all it is. You know? If there's more to it than that, I'm good. I think it's well done. But if it's just that, and that's what it reads to me like, I think we're just so close from having like a really fun end game thing to do, you know? 9-star monster adjustments. In light of the addition of 9-star monsters, we've lengthened the duration of meal effects so that they're less likely to expire if the hunt goes on a little long. Love that change. Love that change. We also raised the upgrade limit for armor of rarity 5 or above so that players can squeeze in a little more defense before they go up against challenging new monsters. Sweet. Additionally, from HR 100 and higher, Ray Dow and New Udra will now appear in the Wounded Hollow. Oh, sick! And each region's apex predator will be more likely to appear even when that region is not experiencing an inclemency. That's awesome. That's awesome. I think that's really cool. I think the Wounded Hollow is not used that well. I'm glad that they're adding more stuff to the Wounded Hollow. I think that's great. Weapon balance changes. As previously announced, we had been planning balance adjustments for 5 weapon types. However, in the end, we expanded the scope and will be implementing adjustments for 11 total weapons. Oh my gosh. Greatsword made it easier to chain into tackle from combos such as these. Okay, so it's easier to tackle now. Raw damage from charge slash, jumping charge slash, strong charge slash, true charge slash, and strong wide slash have been slightly increased. Awesome. So true charge slash just got a damage buff. I'm in. I don't care how much it is. I'm in. Elemental scaling from strong charge slash, true charge slash, and strong wide slash have been increased. Oh my gosh. Okay. Dude, I'm so pumped. The TCS has just gotten better. Almighty TCS will be smacking for more damage now. I'm pumped. All right. Longsword. Reduce the delay between input and action when chaining into EI Spirit Slash from Special Sheath. Additionally, slightly extended the window for performing the EI Spirit Slash. Okay, I know about this change specifically because of Peppo. Peppo has been talking about this input delay on Twitter and all this stuff. And I know Peppo's an awesome longsword player. I don't watch speedruns, okay? So I don't know much about Peppo. Peppo, if you're watching, I see you on Twitter, and I'm telling you that what you're doing is making a difference, all right? That's why I'm bringing this up. I know about this as someone who's not an avid longsword, like maniacal player of longsword, because of Peppo's tweets, all right? So if you want to see changes happen in the world for things that you love, you got to talk about it, because Peppo, nice work on getting the longsword input delay changed, because I've been watching you talk about it on Twitter for months, and you did it. Nice job. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, chat. This is really good indicator that Capcom's listening to its player base, yeah? I think that's really good. Dual Blades, adjusted focus strike, turning tide. So that cannot be chained into turning tide drill. Dual Blade's going to have 2 finishing attacks for focus strikes. You're either going to do this one that's on screen, repeating, or you do the big Levi attack from Attack on Titan where you go like Beyblading on the back of the monster. I think that's cool. I think that's great. More options is always fun, in my opinion, because now this lets you be creative while you're hunting. You're legally required to always use the Levi attack on Jin Dahad, though. Got it. Is that part of the new terms of service? They ban you from the game if you don't. We've implemented changes into the new update that if you don't use the Levi attack on Dual Blades on Jin Dahad, we will brick your game. Movement speed during demon mode has been increased. Oh my gosh. Are we going to be faster than Hunting Horn? We got to do a race, chat. When this comes out, we're racing. And I'm going to take Dual Blades out in demon mode, and someone's going to take Hunting Horn out with their self-improvement song on and see who's faster. Hunting Horn. Added armor properties to hilt stab, preventing the user from being knocked back by monster attacks. Dude. This is tackle, but for Hunting Horn. What the heck? No way, Hunting Horn is crazy. What is this weapon? It's already good. It's already so good. Now we have a tackle on Hunting Horn. Oh, where's Uno Hunter? Uno Hunter, you're a greatsword player now. Oh my gosh. What a change. Dude, hilt stab is crazy. Hilt stab's crazy. It was already good. The fact that hilt stab just gave you a free note, like lickety split, was great. Now you can't get knocked back. It's just tackle. It's tackle and a note. It'd be good if it didn't give you a note. If it just got you from being knocked back, it'd be good. But they added a note to it as well. Dude, Hunting Horn is nuts. Oh my gosh. Dude, every update that they change Hunting Horn and make it better, there's just more and more inspiration for me to be like, drop everything you're doing, Tails. You're now a Hunting Horn main. You don't play any other weapon. Like, if I could stomach the idea of playing one weapon for eternity, it would be Hunting Horn right now. Hunting Horn is crazy. It's so good. Oh my gosh, what a weapon. All right, Lance players, here's what you got coming. Damage taken while in Power Guard has been further reduced. Sweet. Raw damage and elemental scaling for retribution thrust following a perfect guard has been increased. Elemental scaling for return thrust, mid thrust 1, 2, 3, and triple thrust have been increased. Okay, hold on. We're not going to read any more of this. Here's what you need to know, Lance. Everyone who played Lance, your weapon was terrible. and then Title Update 2.5 came out, and they were like, you know what, chat? We're sorry. We're sorry that we neglected to look at Lance for 5 months. Here, have all of it. We can summarize everything here on Lance. Everything on Lance got buffed. So if you thought Lance was good before, it's way better now. It's way better now. Oh my gosh. Ooh, skill changes. Okay. Adjust the effects of the set bonus skill Bubbly Dance as follows. Bubble Dance 1 prevents major bubble blight and grants minor bubble blight after evading several times. Is that the same? No, grants minor bubble blight. So they moved that? They moved this to Bubbly Dance 1. So, okay. So what that means then is now we only need Mitsuzune 2-piece armor set in order to use the Bubble Blight buff. So it affects Slick Blade, right? So Slick Blade gets... Oh, man, dude, you guys! We have more reason to use our Super Soakers. The Slick Blade weapon buff just got better. Slick Blade is back. Because now you only have to run a 2-piece of Mitsuzune gear, which makes Slick Blade way better, because you don't need to put four armor pieces on to make it better, because you're going to give yourself Bubble Blight, which is going to trigger Slick Blade. And then you could use the Super Soaker to get the last buffs from the Slick Blade. Oh, heck yeah. Okay. That's sweet. Also, we need to imagine, what if Bubbly Dance is in Talismans? It feels unlikely, because they're not armor skills that you can slot in, but who knows? The Talismans might have armor set bonuses on them from monsters. That'd be kind of cool. Adjust the duration of the set bonus skill Warcry. With this change, the effects will now stack with all other effects, allowing for greater flexibility in equipment choices. Okay, what's Warcry, chat? I think that's what this is. Let me look here. The Blonganga set, is that Warcry, chat? Yeah, that's it. So the Blonganga set just got better, which means my ultimate support build that already is awesome is only better now. It's only better. So if you want to run a really fun, wide-range Mushroom Mancer free meal build that also provides free buffs by using an emote, this is the build for you. Adjusted the set bonus skill Powerhouse so that it now stacks with all other effects. Cool. This was for offsetting. If I remember correctly, this is the Doshiguma set bonus. The effects of the set bonus skill Boost Burst. You know what this makes me think, y'all? Like, it doesn't say this here, but all of these changes, Warcry, Bubbly Dance, Powerhouse, Boost Burst, Affinity Sliding, Ballistic, stuff like this, but like especially these are all set bonuses for armor, right? So you have to equip that many pieces of armor from that monster to get that bonus. That makes me feel like they're in the Talismans. These have been around, except for Bubbly Blight. No, this was around Title Update 1. All of these have been around since the release of the game or Title Update 1. Why are they changing them now? It makes me feel like they're going to be in the Talismans. And there's actually builds that can utilize these set bonuses as well now because we have more options to stick it into our builds. So it doesn't matter that it's tied to the armor because we had options to do that for 5 months. It's because now we have new ways to access them. And so now it's like, okay, we should make some adjustments to it because it's going to show up in Talismans. That's how I feel like it's going to go. That's what I think is going to happen. We'll see. I don't know. But it's pretty fun to imagine like, oh, I could make a support Talisman now with Warcry. I don't have to necessarily use the Blonganga gear set. I might get a Talisman that has Warcry on it. And if I just equip my emote, I get more buffs. That's kind of fun. I think Powerhouse is a really cool set bonus. But because it's on Doshiguma, it's not great. Because the armor set is too low geared for higher ranked stuff. But if you get Powerhouse on a Talisman, oh my gosh, dude. Powerhouse is sick on offset weapons. It's so good. It's so good. I'm pumped to put this on a Talisman, hopefully, and then be able to do an offset build with this Talisman that goes nuts. I think that's really cool. We'd also like to touch on our efforts to improve game stability, particularly for the Steam version, in response to numerous player comments. In Title Update 2, we fixed bugs related to shader compilation and reduce the impact of anti-cheat measures on processing load by about 90%. That's a massive number. In addition, as an option to reduce CPU load while improving frame rate, we implemented support for the latest super resolution technologies, DLSS4 and FSR4. In addition, in Title Update 2, we improved our texture loading process, reducing instances where low-quality textures were displayed when monsters suddenly entered the player's field of view. Title Update 3 will see similar improvements for NPCs and sacred mounts. Future plans. In general, increasing the native frame rate will also increase CPU usage. If the frame rate limit is set to an unlimited or high value in options, CPU performance will be maximized in the attempt to increase the frame rate, which may result in very high CPU usage. Please adjust your graphics options to limit the frame rate in accordance with your hardware's specifications. In cases where GPU performance is bottlenecked, CPU performance may not be fully utilized. So chat, you heard it from the boss themselves. If you're running at unlimited frame rate, yeah, where's that at? Right here. If your frame rate is set to unlimited or high values in the options, when your computer can't handle it, you're shooting yourself in the foot, is what the boss is saying. Yeah? The game is not working how it's supposed to because you've got unlimited frame rates on, or a very high frame rate, like 120 frames per second, but your computer can't handle it. Yeah? So what this means, chat, is not that they've given up on optimization. We're going to read more. They are letting you know right now, we can help your system out so much if you go in and cap the frame rate. And so all you got to do is just put in some different numbers in your frame rate capping and see which ones perform better. In regards to CPU load reduction, we plan to address this issue in the 4th title update scheduled for this winter. Once the initial implementation is complete, we will proceed to the 2nd stage of further mitigation measures. We will also address GPU load reduction in similar manner. We will continue to work on improving the game's stability so that more players can enjoy the game on PC with peace of mind. Thank you for understanding. Interesting. So, how do we read this, chat? Here's how I read it, and don't be upset at me, okay? It's 2 ways, though. The first way is what they're saying is like, hey, we know that there's issues, yeah? So much so that we're going to fix it because that's what they have to do. But we're not going to do it for almost a year after the game launched. That's too bad. That's too bad. A year? A year of time? Like, to me, it feels like if it's going to take a year to fix this, potentially, you think they would have known about this when the game launched? You think it was a surprise to them when it launched? It was like, oh my gosh, this job's way bigger than we thought. I don't think there's any way. I think they knew it. They're like, we'll just deal with it. And it's going to take them a year to fix it. That's crazy to me. The other side of it is players too. Like, I think I put out a video on my channel a while ago that said, how do you know if the game's even going to work on your computer? Like a buying guide. If you're going to buy Wilds, what do you need to check to see if your computer's going to run it? I think players really need to understand going forward, not just with Capcom, but with every video game that releases. I'm looking at Borderlands 4 right now, chat. You got to test your system to see if it can even run it before you buy it. Because it's so unfortunate that Capcom is going to release a game and then it's going to take a year for them to be able to run the game how they wanted to. Just crazy. A year. That's a long time. That's a long time. So like it's on players to understand that if you want your game to run perfectly out the box, it might not. Are you willing to wait a year for fixes to come into play? And my suggestion is, dude, just put your head back in the box and don't even think that the game's released yet. And then a year later, there's going to be like a sale. It's going to be half off and the game's going to be running like perfectly. And all the updates are going to be here for all the monsters you want to fight. It's going to be good to go, you know? So if you're on the fence about Wilds and you think that it's going to be running after this update, it's the same. And they're not going to do any changes to the running for your rig until winter. Put the brakes on. Understand that the FOMO is not going to kill you. That the game will be there and be better after the game releases than it will be on release. And just wait, because you might have to wait a year before the game's going to be considered done, which is too bad. I think the changes are good. This whole section is really unfortunate. Well, hopefully this will be good when we get to wintertime. I'm actually really pumped for, it's crazy to say because we're in August. Like I'm excited to revisit Monster Hunter Wilds fully in Title Update 4 when these changes come out. And hopefully the game's running like the best we've ever seen it ever. and so many people are back playing the game, and it's now like incredible. I'm putting a time capsule in the ground right now on YouTube. Yeah, the time capsule right now says, hey, in August 2025, so many people were upset with Monster Hunter Wilds, especially PC players, that the topic of Monster Hunter at large is like declining like crazy. Like, people are not watching Monster Hunter content. They're not interested in Monster Hunter. They don't even want to talk about it because the hair on the back of their neck stands up and they get into like frothy mouth mode where they just can't have a kind thing to say about Monster Hunter. That's the time capsule. And 6 months from now, I want to open that time capsule and be like, man, that sucked. Now the game's great. And so many people are back playing it. And it's a lot of fun. And we're all having a great time. This is the greatest Monster Hunter game we've ever had. I hope that that's what we get to experience come Christmas time. Is that this all is like dust in the wind 6 months later, you know? We'll see what happens.